Hello everybody, welcome back to Epic Pwnage News. This is Russ, and today is the final video of our NFL offseason review as we glance over the NFC South and NFC West today to conclude our NFL offseason review as we move towards the training camp and then preseason and hopefully week 1 kickoff. And as we get closer to our countdown to kickoff, I'll be making videos hopefully not daily, but weekly at least, to keep you guys up to date and everything that's going on. So there might be random video spouts here and there, so just watch out for those. Remember to always hit the bell to get all of our notifications so you never miss an upload. Anyway, starting it off today, we have the Atlanta Falcons, who signed quarterback Kirk Cousins to a 4-year $180 million contract that includes a $15 million signing bonus. Cousins received $100 million guaranteed, including $90 million in 2024 and 2025, and another $10 million in 2026. So this is a huge contract, an unbelievably large contract. When you look at Kirk Cousins' career earnings, he has out-earned Tom Brady. Tom Brady won 7 Super Bowls. Kirk Cousins has won 1 playoff game in the last 12 seasons. This man, it is insane to me that this man can get this kind of money. I want to know who his agent is, for one. I don't know who his agent is. So if anyone knows who Kirk Cousins' agent is, post it down in the comments below, because I'd be interested in reading up on this guy and seeing how he has been able to swindle a couple of different teams now out of millions of dollars for Mr. Kirk Cousins over here. Anyway, they also signed wide receivers Ray McLeod, who signed a 2-year contract. Wide receiver Kaderil Hodge re-signs. Wide receiver Darnell Mooney signs a 3-year, $39 million deal. They also get wide receiver Rondale Moore, who they acquired in a trade with the Cardinals in exchange for quarterback Desmond Ridder, who will now back up Kyler Murray in the desert state. They also get tight end Ross Dwelly, tight end Charlie Woerner, offensive tackle Storm Noten, nose tackle Eddie Goldman, who came out of retirement to sign with the Falcons, mind you. I don't know if it's just because he wanted to play for a defensive-minded head coach in Raheem Moore or what led him to coming out of retirement, but interestingly enough, he comes out of retirement, signs with the Falcons. Edge rusher James Smith-Williams also signed during free agency. Kentavious Street also signed in free agency, or re-signed in free agency after initially leaving the team. Cornerback Antonio Hamilton signed a free agent deal. Liam McCollum also re-signed with the team as well. Moving on, you have the Carolina Panthers, who were bad. They were downright awful last season and didn't even own the first-round pick. The Bears had it after they got wide receiver David Moore, who did sign to the team on a free agent deal after they got DJ Moore in a trade from the Chicago Bears last season. They also, but for this offseason, they have made moves to improve the roster heavily as they made lots and lots of signings and acquired a few players in trades. Anyway, kicking it off, they signed Rashad Penny on a free agent deal. They also acquired wide receiver Deontay Johnson in a trade with the Steelers, along with a 2024 7th-round pick in exchange for cornerback Dante. So the trade picks and trade a defensive back for a wide receiver that they desperately needed. They also Yosh Nijman. They also get Robert Hunt, who signed a 5-year, $100 million deal. They also get offensive guard Damian Lewis, who signed a 4-year, $53 million deal. They get edge rushers DJ Wonham, Jadeveon Clowney, and Clavon Chassian. They also signed defensive tackles Derek Brown, which agreed to a new 4-year, $96 million deal that includes more than $63 million guaranteed. Brown was, in fact, entering the final year of his contract. They also get defensive tackle Ashawn Robinson, who signed a 3-year, $22.5 million deal. They also get linebacker Josie Jewell, who signed a 3-year, $22.75 million deal, which does include a $7 million signing bonus and $10 million fully guaranteed. They also get cornerbacks Troy Hill and Dane Jackson, as well as safety Sam Franklin and Jordan Fuller, and Nick Scott. And they also get long snapper JJ Jansen. So a lot of moves to improve the team, and hopefully they can give Bryce Young what he needs to develop further into a ideal quarterback. Moving on, you have the New Orleans Saints, who got quarterbacks Kellen Mond and Nathan Peterman. They also signed Amon-Ra St. Brown's brother, Quantamia St. Brown. They also get wide receiver Cedric Wilson on a 2-year deal. Adam Patience signs at fullback for a 2-year deal. Chase Young signs a 1-year, $13 million deal. We'll see what happens with that. Linebackers, Willie Gay Jr. and Demario Davis agree to new deals as well as linebacker Kaliki Hudson. Safeties Will Harris, Jonathan Abram also signed to the deal, as well as safety Tyrann Mathieu, who signed a 2-year contract worth $13.75 million with $10 million guaranteed. The contract, which includes 3 voidable years to reduce his 2024 cap number by $6.5 million, includes a $5 million signing bonus and a $1.5 million base salary for the 2024 season, plus a $1 million guaranteed roster bonus and a $6.25 million salary in 2025. They also signed kicker Charlie Smith. Next up, you have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who did a lot of work to keep their playoff roster intact, so they still made the playoffs this season, even without Tom Brady. So in the wake of not having Tom Terrific, they got quarterback Baker Mayfield, who did lead them to the playoffs, got him a playoff win, just fell short in Detroit. And for his efforts, Baker Mayfield, with his career resurgence, re-signed to the team on a 3-year, $100 million deal that includes $30 million fully guaranteed in year 1 and has a max value of $115 million. Mayfield also received $10 million fully guaranteed in year 2, plus $10 million fully guaranteed for injury in 2025, which becomes fully vested next season. They also have quarterback John Wolford, who re-signed to the team. All their re-signees would be Chase Edmonds, Mike Evans, who re-signed on a 2-year, $52 million deal, Justin Skoll, Greg Gaines, William Golston, Levante David, Chase McLaughlin, all re-signed, as well as Antoine Winfield Jr., who signed a 4-year, $84 million contract, which has $45 million fully guaranteed after he received the non-exclusive franchise tag as well. You also have Jordan Whitehead, who signed a 2-year, $9 million deal that has a max value of $10.5 million. You also get long snapper Zach Triner, who re-signed to the team as well. For all the new players that joined the team, they had Sterling Shepard join on a 1-year deal. Ben Bredson also signed a 1-year deal worth up to $3.5 million. Sua Opeta also signed with the Bucs as well. Randy Gregory agreed to a 1-year deal. Bryce Hall agreed to a 1-year deal. Tavier Thomas signed with the Bucs as well. Jordan Whitehead, like I mentioned as well. They made a lot of positive moves, improved the offense a little bit, improved their wide receiver room. Getting Sterling Shepard, I think, adds a second viable option for Baker Mayfield, if not a slot role for this man. I think he could be explosive in the slot. If not, if you're going to play him outside at the number 2, I think instead of, a lot of your like typical go routes or post corners or anything, this man should be running comeback routes, corner routes, anything to kind of let him juke and jive, move around a lot, and throw the defender off his trail. I think that would be the best way for them to use Sterling Shepard. So this is a really positive move for me, in my opinion. On defense, they improved the defense a lot, re-signed the guys that they needed. I think the duo of Whitehead and Winfield will be fantastic, as well. The addition of Bryce Hall, Levante David getting back in there, I think is a very important move for them to keep that solid defense intact. And we'll see if Baker Mayfield can improve upon what he built last season after forming a really great connection with Mike Evans. So we'll see how that develops. Moving on, you have the NFC West, who, kicking off with them, you have the Arizona Cardinals. Now, in my household, there's a little bit of debate. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because my lady doesn't understand that her team is garbage. And I try to put it nicely. I'm not, I don't try to come out and say that it's bad. But the Arizona Cardinals are bad. If they don't get Kyler Murray to stop playing Call of Duty, their hopes of ever winning or reaching a Super Bowl or the playoffs even might not be there. But they do acquire quarterback Desmond Ridder in a trade with the Falcons for wide receiver Rondale Moore. They also got running back DJ Dallas from divisional rival Seattle Seahawks. They also get Zay Jones on a 1-year deal. Chris Moore signs a 1-year deal. They also re-signed players like Keith Ismail, Tristan Colin, Elijah Wilkinson, Chris Barnes also re-signs, Aaron Brewer and Blake Gilligan also all re-sign as well. Then you got guys like Sean Murphy-Bunting who will make a big impact on defense right away, as well as Mac Wilson signing a 3-year $12.75 million deal. Justin Jones coming in there is also going to make a big impact on that offensive line. Evan Brown is a fantastic move at center. Another steal from a division rival as well. They did everything to improve their team. It's just really on Kyler Murray to build upon that success. If not, Desmond Ridder maybe can step in and get a spark going with this team. We'll see what happens when the season upcoming. Hopefully my lady has a team to root for and not just a team that finishes 3-14. Moving on to the Los Angeles Rams, who made very little moves. Now that I'm looking at it, now that I'm looking at this list, they did not do a whole lot. I mean, they had a pretty good roster, but they have a big hole to fill with Aaron Donald retiring. This is probably the weakest their defense is going to be for a while. I mean, they do get Brandon Fisk in the draft. I think that's a fantastic pickup who will make a good replacement for Aaron Donald for the time being, but whether he develops further into that Hall of Fame level player is yet to be seen. But anyway, they do sign quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo to the team on a 1-year deal with a base value of $4.5 million and a max value of $12 million. That's per Mike Garofalo, Pete Schrager, and Ian Rappaport. You also have wide receiver Demarcus Robinson, who re-signed to the team on a 1-year, $5 million deal. So tight end Colby Parkinson signed a 3-year, $22.5 million deal that includes $15.5 million guaranteed. You get offensive lineman Kevin Dodson and Jonah Jackson, who signed to the team. Dodson re-signing a 3-year deal, and Jonah Jackson signing a 3-year deal in free agency. Both are big pieces and pickups to keep Matthew Stafford safe, as he's getting probably towards the tail end of his career. We'll see what happens this season with it, but I do think we are probably going to watch Matthew Stafford suit up for the possible last time, or at least maybe as a Ram. They also pick up defensive tackle Laird Murchison and linebacker Christian Roseboom, trying to improve that front seven to fill the gap that was left by Aaron Donald. But these are going to be really big shoes to fill, which is why I say this is probably the weakest this defense has ever been. But time will tell. Time will tell with that. You also have cornerback Tre'Davious White, who signs on a 1-year deal, and cornerback Darius Williams, who signs a 3-year, $22.5 million deal that has a max value of $30 million, as well as safety Carmen Curl signing a 2-year, $13 million deal as well. Next up, you have the San Francisco 49ers, who made quite a few moves to improve their already Super Bowl worthy roster. It's just a matter of what happens with Brandon Ayuk. I think that's going to be the biggest discussion. Brandon Ayuk officially asked for a trade from the San Francisco 49ers as of July 17th, 2024. Where he ends up now at the time of this video is uncertain. All we know is he is not going to be a Niner for long. Moving on though to the guys who they did sign to help them hopefully reach their 6th Super Bowl title. They get quarterbacks Brandon Allen and Joshua Dobbs to back up Brock Purdy. They also re-sign running back Christian McCaffrey to a 2-year, $38 million extension to make him the highest paid running back in the league, which in a crazy turn of events also frees up cap in later years for them as well. They also get wide receiver Chris Connolly. They get tight end Logan Thomas, offensive line John Feliciano, Chris Hubbard, Colton McKivitz, all signed to the team as well. So they are really trying to protect Brock and build a solid foundation for Christian McCaffrey to run behind. I think if this offensive line performs at its highest level, Christian McCaffrey could end up rumbling for 2,000 all-purpose yards, hell, maybe even 2,000 rushing yards, and end up breaking the single season record, but we'll see what happens with that. They also get edge rusher Leonard Floyd, as well as edge rusher Yetur Gross-Matos, defensive tackles Malik Collins and Jordan Elliott, defensive lineman Kevin Gates, linebackers Devondre Campbell, Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles, cornerback Rock Yassin, Isaac Yiadom, and special teamer / safety George Odom also signed to the team. So they improved in many areas, added a lot of depth, really. We'll see what happens with them, but I expect them to be in the Super Bowl hunt as always. Now moving on to the last team on this list, we have the Seattle Seahawks. Now, I didn't put this intentionally. This is just the way the list kind of just spit out online through my randomizer. Anyway, you have the Seattle Seahawks, who, out of their moves, they made quite a few moves, but had a lot of holes. A lot of players left the team this offseason for them. I mean, they lost Bobby Wagner again. They fired Pete Carroll. They lost Drew Lock to free agency. They lost Rashad Penny. Evan Brown also was lost to free agency, but they did sign quite a few players, and they got PJ Walker on a free agent deal to back up Geno Smith. So we'll see how the quarterback battle goes in the offseason, in the preseason. But most importantly, our second string quarterback at the moment, quarterback Sam Howell, who was acquired in a trade with the Commanders, along with a 2024 4th and 6th round picks in exchange for a 2024 3rd and 5th round pick, per Tom Pelissero. We'll see what Sam Howell can do. He is having kind of a start that a lot of people have compared to guys like Peyton Manning, Phil Simms, those types of players, comparing him to that, seeing that he has a slow start, maybe he can build towards something. He has shown a lot of promise in the off-season training camps so far, but we'll see what happens when we get to minicamp in August. They also signed wide receiver Laviska Shenault Jr. on a free agent deal, mainly signing him for his return prowess, as well as tight end Pharaoh Brown, who signs on a free agent deal. I think this is a fantastic signing for depth. Noah Fant resigns on a 2-year, $21 million contract. Fantastic. Offensive line moves, they get George Fant back on a free agent deal after he spent a couple seasons with the Jets. They get offensive guard Laken Tomlinson and center Nick Harris to replace center Evan Brown. They also acquired Leonard Williams last season after trading a 2nd round pick. They re-signed him to a 3-year, $64.5 million contract. We'll see if the Big Cat can produce something this season to prove that he's worthy of that. Defensive tackle Jonathan Hankins also signed to the team. Then you get linebackers Jerome Baker and Tyrell Dodson to replace linebackers Bobby Wagner and Jordan Brooks. I think they'll be good replacements, serviceable at best, but we'll see what happens with that. They also get cornerbacks Artie Burns back, who resigns to the team. They also signed Kevon Wallace in free agency, as well as safety Rayshawn Jenkins. Now, they had a lot of pieces leave the team. They did cut Quandre Diggs, and they did cut Jamal Adams from the team. Now, they have filled the slot with Rayshawn Jenkins. Not sure who that second safety is going to be. We'll see once we get to preseason what shakes out. They also have cornerbacks Artie Burns and Kevon Wallace, as well as cornerbacks Tariq Woolen and Devin Witherspoon. So more just depth there for them. I think Jonathan Hankins signing is fantastic. I think that provides a good amount of depth along the defensive line. As well as Jerome Baker and Tyrell Dodson. We definitely needed replacements for our linebackers. I personally wanted them to sign Patrick Queen, just because I am a Seattle Seahawks fan, but that didn't happen. I'm happy with the Jerome Baker signing. I think it'll be okay. We'll just have to see what happens when we get to the season and see what new head coach Mike Macdonald has in store. I just hope that Geno Smith can perform like he did 2 seasons ago, as opposed to how he performed last season. So hopefully he has a bounce back year, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for sticking with me through all 4 videos. I hope you enjoyed all 4 of them. Hopefully you guys all didn't watch them in one sitting. I'd hate for you guys to hear my voice for that long. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching and supporting the channel like you always have. If you are new to this channel, please continue to support us if you like the content. And if you like it, just stick around, hit the subscribe button, tap the bell to get all our post notifications, like and share this video, get the word out there. Let them all know that we are out here. We are making possibly and hopefully the best football content on YouTube. Probably not even close, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next video.